My faith story begins, in some sense, in Michigan in the period before the Civil War, when my father's ancestors settled there. They were devout Methodists. Their extended family included at least one pastor that we know of. My father was born on the family farm, and he and his brother were raised as Methodists. While in grad school at Michigan State, he met and married a college girl just in time to be called up for World War II. Thus, I started life as an Army brat, born in Seattle, lived in Pasadena, Pensacola, Lansing, and ended up in Aberdeen at the end of the war. My Christian experience thus began in Aberdeen at Grace Methodist Church. My parents attended only rarely. My brother and sister and I were sent to Sunday school every week. I don't remember a lot from Sunday school, but I guess some of it must have rubbed off. I came to religion by way of astronomy and science after I realized that the structure of the solar system implied a design. However, when I went to college, I did not see religion as having any real impact on my day-to-day life, and I did not darken the door of a church for a number of years. I was basically a deist at that time. Eventually, I started grad school at Western Michigan and was teaching undergrad physics labs, and then a major turning point occurred in my life. Excuse me. One of my students was a cute biology major named Paula. That's probably a story for another day. Suffice it to say, we got married and moved to State College to continue grad school. Paula had a somewhat checkered background. Her father was Baptist and her mother Unitarian Universalist. But she spent her first 2 years of college at Greenville College, which was a free Methodist school. And so she had a good grounding in what I might call experiential religion, as opposed to me with a background in intellectual religion. Attending church was very important to her, so we joined St. Paul's United Methodist at State College, where we were both baptized. We remained in that church until we graduated and my postdoc ended, and I got a job in Maryland. At St. Paul's, I was first exposed to the concept of salvation by grace through faith, although it was a while before it sank in that salvation applied to me too, and that in fact God might still be active in the world. After moving to Maryland, we joined Hughes United Methodist in Wheaton. So, how does a dyed-in-the-wool Methodist end up as an ELCA Lutheran? By the late 90s, the Methodist Church, at least the one we attended, was moving away from the liturgy and more into fundamentalism and decision theology. So we started exploring alternatives. In the meantime, our son had been attending various churches in the area, and one Sunday he came home and said, "I found a place you would like." It turned out to be St. John's Evangelical Lutheran in Aspen Hill, only a couple of blocks from our house at the time. This was exactly what we were looking for, the liturgy with communion every week, but without the somewhat arcane rituals of the Roman Catholic and Orthodox churches. We planned to transfer our membership to St. John's and even took their new member class, but we ended up following our horses up to Carroll County instead. It is said that God works in mysterious ways. In this case, it seems clear that God intended me and Paula to be together. I ended up at Western because that's where I got an assistantship and could afford it. It was not my first choice. Paula transferred from Greenville to Western also due to financial issues. Again, not her first choice. She had a major impact on my life, not just in relationship to God. For example, I would never in a million years have seen myself as a horse owner and rider living on a farm. But it happened. In fact, as a young person, I did not really like animals. I have a feeling that the feeling was mutual. In fact, I'm still living on the farm 3 years after she died and still own one horse. She certainly made me into a better human being and enriched my life immensely. It's scary to think that if one or the other of us had been wealthier, we might never have met and none of that would have happened. Another example of how God can take a suboptimal situation and make it into good. Thank you.